WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, often tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have something with SMWS, the Scotch Malt Whisky Society. This is Society Cask number 18.50. So 18 is the 18th distillery that SMWF ever bottled, in this case Inchgower. And this is the 50th cask of the Inchgower distillery. So we have an outturn, so how many bottles? One of 264, and they named it the Root Beer Carnival. This is the 15-year-old whiskey. So we have here distilled on the 18th of September 2007. The region is Speyside. The initial cask was an ex-bourbon Hogshead, and the final cask, I like how they do it, it's not a finishing cask, it's a final cask. My information, at least from the SWS website, is 12 years in the first cask, 3 basically then years in the final cask. A first fill Ex-Oloroso Hogshead with 60.5% ABV. Whiskybase number 224519. So a few things I'm going to mention and then I'll try this. In the UK, sold out at the moment. Sold out, I guess, forever. It is a single barrel, so we only had those few bottles. £85 and 80 pence. In the EU, the European Union, there's also finally the Scotch Malt Whisky Society EU. This costs €110 and 20 cents. So I have a nice little booklet here I was given. Thank you very much, Tom. We have here the Scotch Malt Whisky Society Think Flavor. Now we have all these wonderful colors here. Let's see if I can fan these out a little bit so you can see them here. All right, good. We have all these colors. So we know that green, this is heavily peated. We know this is peated. This is lightly peated. This is our oily and coastal. And this is the color I have here. You can actually match this here. I have juicy oak and vanilla. So the light blue is going to be our light and delicate. This is the one, if you ever look for a bottle of SMWS and you find that, that's what you want. You want to have old and dignified. They are not going to be cheap, but they are probably going to be delicious. And maybe the best bottles you can ever find here. We have the deep, rich, and dried fruit, which is more of a, I don't know, what is that color? We have the spicy and dry, which is for me more of a beige. We have spicy and sweet, which is lilac. We have a little bit of sweet and fruity. And then we have the young and sprightly with a little bit of the pink there. So we know what type of whiskey we have. Now, I bought this bottle for €130. Now you're going, wait a second, Jason, you just said it's 85 pounds, it's €110. Why did you pay 130? Well, I was at the Whiskey Fair Torona in Germany in Erfurt. I went up to almost every booth and said, hi, last year I actually did a fundraising event online, an auction that was Good Friday and Easter Saturday, basically. And I raised €20,000 for the Ukraine. This year I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again on Good Friday evening and the Easter Saturday. And would you possibly be so kind to donate a bottle? And it will be auctioned off live online on YouTube. And people here in SWS said, come back tomorrow. That was Saturday. I said, yes, no problem. Sunday, he said, here, this is our best-selling whiskey. 1 bottle I have left here for you. It's like, thank you. That's so great. About €110 would be great if you get more. So we did the bidding war, and then we were at 120, and someone bid 125. I bid 130, and I was hoping that he'd bid 135. He didn't, and I got the bottle for 130. He said, sure, it's Jason. I said, okay, are you sure? Yeah, he wrote down. And I was like, good, I got the bottle. Yay, I can do video, I can do bottle share, no problem. Now, this year we had €14,000 that we actually gathered here for the Ukraine. We're supporting a institution over here in Germany called People for People, e.V., which means it's a nonprofit organization. And it's the Ukraine Aid in Fulda, Germany, and we work together in this moment with patrons for soldiers. So these are soldiers of the Ukrainian army that have been killed in battle, and their orphans and the widows, the wives that have left behind. We support them. All right, and so we're giving humanitarian aid, medical aid. We give food as well as equipment to orphanages and so on. So 34,000 euros in the last 13 months is what we've gathered here from the WhiskyJason community here in Germany. I think that's just so awesome. All right, and so this bottle has a very special place in my heart, that this was one of those bottles that was donated as well as then bought, and the money went to that. It's totally a non-profit, 100% volunteer organization. Everyone's volunteering their time, and they've done 25 transports down to the Ukraine from Germany already. And the guy I work with, Stefan, he's been on personally, I think 6 of them. I think the 7th one is happening or will happen now. I went into my shelf over here and found a SMWS, exactly the same color. So this is a very similar bottle. Now this is the Society Casknumber 7.123, a rummage in a handbag. This is Longmorn. This is 59.9% ABV. This is 15 years of age. I do like the Root Beer Carnival as a name a lot better. But this is Whiskybase number 147839. I used to be a member for 1 year of SMWS. I hit exactly the year that the Brexit happened, and then we had all the problems, and they used to send the packages directly from the UK. We would have the outturn once a month. It'd be like a Friday, and then Wednesday, Thursday next week, the bottles would be there. That was fabulous. And then Brexit happened, and it became complicated. And exactly in that time, I was there, and it was very complicated. So I bought 16 bottles. Of the 16 bottles, less than half were actually nice. A third of those were all above a fourth. Let's say a fourth were just like, how could they even bottle them? And very, very few bottles, at least that I had and I tried and I had bought, actually gave any source of wow moment in my life. So I did not renew my membership. I do like SMWS. I do like the concept of SMWS. I have recommended it to people, and I will continue to recommend it to people, but it's just not my thing. On the nose. All right. I have 2 questions. The first question that I have is, how bad must the cask have been to actually say after 12 years, oops, we need to finish this one? All right, it says here, a ex-bourbon hogshead. Now, first of all, bourbon is never matured in a hogshead. So you take the bourbon staves and you remake the cask, usually in Scotland, and you make a hogsheads out of them instead of 200, 250 liters. I'm sure that this is going to be like a second or third fill hogshead. All right, so maybe in fourth. Nothing happened, or very little happened in the cask, apparently, and so they're like, okay, we need to finish this. What are we going to do? We're going to go buy ourselves a first fill ex-Oloroso sherry hogshead, and the oak is going to be European oak. Now, dear people, sherry casks are not made from European oak, usually. They're almost always made from American oak. So the real sherry cask used in the Solera process. So, second thing, there are no hogsheads in the Solera process. We have bigger casks, around 500 liters, not 250s. All right, so this is a seasoned, prepared cask, extra just for the whiskey industry in Scotland. No problem with that. That's very, very good. But I do have a problem with the type of sherry that they use in these seasoned cask, because I've experienced, at least in the last couple of years, that sherry has become a lot more of a syrupy type of artificial flavoring, type of artificial sweetener moment that I just don't like. And that's what I get here a little bit. I get an artificial sherry moment with a little bit, and that's very good. I do get a little bit of the chocolate. I get the European oak tannins. So if I'm going to read here. So it says here, the spirits notes. This is directly from the Scotch Malt Whisky Society. What they do is they have 6 people on the tasting panel, and all of the notes from all 6 people are just comprised together and written down here. So it says, creamy vanilla ice cream melted over strawberries, kiwi, and melon, finished with toffee sauce and a Caribbean rum cocktail, garnished with kaffir, lime, and mint leaves. Well, that's a sentence. This is more of a bourbon, but it's got too much wood in it. I would not have put something in here for 15 years in a first fill bourbon cask, but that's just me. What can I say? Now, to become a member of the SMWS, you actually have to pay a fee. The fee is 85 euros over here. And you get a few samples, and you have the right to participate in the outturn once a month. Over here in Europe, in the European Union, we get 20 cask strength single casks in the outturn each and every month that you can try to be quick enough and get one of the bottles. That is always the charm and the great thing about single casks. Yeah, what I was trying to say was the blessing and the curse of a single cask. Imagine you have 8,000 SMWS members, and you have, in this case, 254 bottles. In that case, you have 172 bottles. And now you have 8,000 people trying to buy those bottles. Am I going to be one of the first 254? Probably not. Unless it's Friday, click, 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 click. All right, so the entire stress of chasing these bottles and setting alarms to being online at the right time to click and put it in your basket, and then to pay and to actually have the right to have the bottle. I have to pay 85 euros to have the privilege of trying to get one of those bottles, but I have no guarantee that I'll get the bottle I want. And I don't have a guarantee anyways anyplace else, but in Germany, what do we say? We say other mothers have beautiful daughters as well. So that means if you didn't get this one, another opportunity is going to come along soon. All right, so let's try this. This is 60.5. This is 59.5, 59.9. So cheers. I was gifted for these glasses for a whiskey tasting I did with a brand ambassador from SMWS here in Germany. Now, the entire time I taste this, it's like, where's the root beer? I don't get root beer. I do get a fruity. I get candied strawberries, and I get a lot of that European oak. And I get a artificial sweetener moment that I personally don't like. All right, so reading on here, it says here, flavors in the mouth were chewy and rich. However, as marmalade, raisins, and dark chocolate merged with red licorice, cherry cola, and the warming spice of nutmeg, ginger, and cinnamon. With water came a complex mix of root beer, fennel seeds, and hazelnuts that combined with fresh raspberries and lime. They keep on saying the word lime here. Evocative notes of brochet and fruit tarts now joined ripe pears and dried apricot in a heavy fruit cake topped with orange zest. After 12 years in an ex-bourbon hogshead that was transferred to a first fill Spanish oak Oloroso hogshead. All right, so this is going to be for me a tiny little bit of false advertising with root beer, the Root Beer Carnival. That's the reason I wanted the bottle. I love root beer. I love root beer floats. I love root beer. Hey, I'm a dumb American from grew up as a child in Pennsylvania. A&W root beer. What else can you have? This is a artificial sweetness that is not what I want in my whiskey. Now, maybe the taste of the modern day whiskey drinker likes this better than I will. I might be at the moment, I have a little bit of you always have these trends and these moods and these phases. And I have a phase of, hey, give me just a very, very, either an old cherry, that good old cherry moment, or give me a bourbon matured whiskey. And that is the new sherry, and it's just not doing it for me. C-. Value for money, 110 euros. Would I buy this again? Never. Would I recommend this? Not really. It's a D for the value for money. But in my opinion, I don't think I've ever given a SWS, Single Malt Whiskey Society, SMWS, a great value for money ever. I always feel that the bottles that were presented here are, they're not prohibitively expensive, but they are purposely expensive in my opinion, which I'm just not willing to go for. Now over here, this bottle, I have about 20 CLs left in here. This is has been up on my shelf for 3 years. The cork has been sealed, but there's a lot of wood going on here. I would have preferred a 15-year-old, talking about my dream whiskey here, a Longmorn from a second fill bourbon barrel, and leave that in there for 15 years. I just think the 15 years dominates the distillery character a little bit too much. I prefer this. This is what I prefer compared to this. But that's just my personal opinion. Both of these are wonderfully drinkable at about 60% ABV. Shockingly drinkable. Well done. If you have not discovered SMWS yet in your part of the world, they are in America. They are over here in Europe. They, of course, started in the UK. I have no idea if they're in Africa, Asia, or other parts of the world like South America. But I do know that there are some very good people doing some very good work, and there are lots and lots and lots of fans of these guys. We don't click. We don't sync. It's not so far anything I've really liked, and it's a shame, but every independent bottler has their own little niche that they're in, and apparently I am not there. Their best customer. So my question of the day is, what is your personal experience so far with SMWS? Great, not so good, terrible, okay, where are you, what have you tried? And I, for example, how often am I in the UK to go to the vaults? Maybe once every 3 years. Would I pay 85 euros a year for 3 years to have the opportunity to go to the vault once? No. It's just all these perks that they offer us have absolutely zero, at least for me, zero incentives to actually say, hey, I want to be a member again. All right. For other people, it's definitely worth the membership fees, and other people just love their bottles. So thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing, and telling others. Whiskey Jason here, and I say bye-bye.